Track 2, Chapters 21 through 40 of the Dao De Jing. Chapter 21. 第21章 The grandest forms of active force from Tao come, their only source. 孔德之容，为道是从. Who can of Tao the nature tell? Its sight are flies, our touch as well. 道之为物，为恍为惚. Eluding sight, eluding touch, the forms of things all in it crouch. 忽兮恍兮，其中有相. Eluding touch, eluding sight, there are their semblances all right. 恍兮惚兮，其中有物. Profound it is, dark and obscure, things' essences all there endure. 杳兮明兮，其中有精. Those essences, the truth and fold of what when seen shall then be told. 其精甚真，其中有信. Now it is so, 'twas so of old, its name what passes not away, so in their beautiful array, things form and never know decay. 自今及古，其名不去，一跃众甫. How know I that it is so with all the beauties of existing things? By this, nature of the Tao. 吾何以知众甫之状哉？以此. Chapter 22. 第22章 The partial becomes complete, the crooked straight, the empty full, the worn out new. He whose desires are few gets them. He whose desires are many goes astray. 曲则全，枉则直，洼则盈，敝则新，少则得，多则惑. Therefore the sage holds in his embrace the one thing of humility and manifests it to all the world. 是以圣人抱一为天下事. He is free from self-display and therefore he shines, from self-assertion and therefore he is distinguished. 不自见，故明；不自是，故彰. From self-boasting and therefore his merit is acknowledged. From self-complacency and therefore he acquires superiority. 不自伐，故有功；不自矜，故长. It is because he is thus free from striving that therefore no one in the world is able to strive with him. 夫为不争，故天下莫能与之争. That saying of the ancients that the partial becomes complete was not vainly spoken. All real completion is comprehended under it. 古之所谓曲则全者，其须言哉？成全而归之. Chapter 23. 第23章 Abstaining from speech marks him who is obeying the spontaneity of his nature. A violent wind does not last for a whole morning. 悉言自然，故飘风不终朝. A sudden rain does not last for the whole day. To whom is it that these two things are owing? 骤雨不终日，孰为此止? To heaven and earth. If heaven and earth cannot make such spasmodic actings last long, how much less can man? 天地尚不能久，而况于人乎? Therefore, when one is making the Tao his business, those who are also pursuing it agree with him in it. 故从事于道者，通于道. And those who are making the manifestation of its course their object agree with him in that, while even those who are failing in both these things agree with him where they fail. 德者，通于德，失者，通于失. Hence, those with whom he agrees as to the Tao have the happiness of attaining to it. Those with whom he agrees as to its manifestation have the happiness of attaining to it. 通于道者，道亦乐得之；通于德者，德亦乐得之. And those with whom he agrees in their failure have also the happiness of attaining to the Tao. 通于失者，失亦乐得之. But when there is not faith sufficient on his part, a want of faith in him ensues on the part of the others. 信不足焉，有不信焉。 Chapter 24. 第24章. He who stands on his tiptoes does not stand firm. He who stretches his legs does not walk easily. 骑着不立，跨着不行。 So he who displays himself does not shine. He who asserts his own views is not distinguished. 自见者不明，自视者不彰。 He who vaunts himself does not find his merit acknowledged. He who is self-conceited has no superiority allowed to him. 自伐者无功，自矜者不长。 Such conditions, when viewed from the standpoint of the Tao, are like remnants of food or a tumor on the body. 其在道也，曰于时坠行。 Which all dislike. Hence those who pursue the course of the Tao do not adopt and allow them. 物或物之，故有道者不处。 Chapter 25. 第25章. There was something undefined and complete coming into existence before heaven and earth. 有物混成，先天地生。 How still it was and formless, standing alone and undergoing no change, reaching everywhere and in no danger of being exhausted. It may be regarded as the mother of all things. 寂兮寥兮，独立而不改，周行而不殆，可以为天地母。 I do not know its name, and I give it the designation of the Tao, the way or course. Making an effort further to give it a name, I call it the Great. 吾不知其名，强自之曰道，强为之名曰大。 Great, it passes on in constant flow. Passing on, it becomes remote. Having become remote, it returns. 大曰是，是曰远，远曰反。 Therefore, the Tao is great, heaven is great, earth is great, and the sage king is also great. 故道大，天大，地大，人亦大。 In the universe, there are four that are great, and the sage king is one of them. 狱中有四大，而人居其一焉。 Man takes his law from the earth. The earth takes its law from heaven. Heaven takes its law from the Tao. The law of the Tao is its being what it is. 人伐地，地伐天，天伐道，道伐自然。 Chapter 26. 第26章. Gravity is the root of lightness, stillness the ruler of movement. 重为轻根，静为躁君。 Therefore, a wise prince, marching the whole day, does not go far from his baggage wagons. 是以圣人，终日行，不离辎重。 Although he may have brilliant prospects to look at, he quietly remains in his proper place, indifferent to them. 虽有荣冠，燕处超然。 How should the lord of a myriad chariots carry himself lightly before the kingdom? 奈何万乘之主，而以身倾天下。 If he do act lightly, he has lost his root of gravity. If he proceed to active movement, he will lose his throne. 亲子失根，造者失君。 Chapter 27. 第27章. The skillful traveler leaves no traces of his wheels or footsteps. The skillful speaker says nothing that can be found fault with or blamed. The skillful reckoner uses no tallies. 善行无辙迹，善言无瑕谪，善述不用筹策。 The skillful closer needs no bolts or bars, while to open what he has shut will be impossible. The skillful binder uses no strings or knots, while to unloose what he has bound will be impossible. 善闭无关键而不可开，善结无绳约而不可解。 In the same way, the sage is always skillful at saving men, and so he does not cast away any man. 是以圣人常善救人，故无弃人。He is always skillful at saving things, and so he does not cast away anything. This is called hiding the light of his procedure. 常善救物，故无弃物，是谓习明。Therefore, the man of skill is a master to be looked up to by him who has not the skill, and he who has not the skill is the helper of, the reputation of, him who has the skill. 故善人者，不善人之师；不善人者，善人之资。If one did not honor his master and the other did not rejoice in his helper, an observer, though intelligent, might greatly err about them. This is called the utmost degree of mystery. 不贵其师，不爱其资，虽智大迷，是谓要妙。Chapter 28. 第28章 Who knows his manhood's strength, yet still his female feebleness maintains? As to one channel flow the many drains, all come to him, yea, all beneath the sky. Thus he the constant excellence retains, the simple child again free from all stains. 知其雄，守其子，为天下溪，为天下溪，常德不离，复归于婴儿。Who knows how white attracts, yet always keeps himself within black's shade, the pattern of humility displayed in view of all beneath the sky. He in the unchanging excellence arrayed, endless returns to man's first state has made. 知其白，守其黑，为天下事，为天下事，常德不二，复归于无极。Who knows how glory shines, yet loves disgrace, nor err, for it is pale? Behold his presence in a spacious veil, to which men come from all beneath the sky. The unchanging excellence completes its tale. The simple infant man in him we hail. 知其荣，守其辱，为天下谷，为天下谷，常德乃足，复归于朴。The unwrought material, when divided and distributed, forms vessels. The sage, when employed, becomes the head of all the offices of government, and in his greatest regulations he employs no violent measures. 不散则为器，圣人用之，则为官长，故大志不割。Chapter 29. 第29章 If anyone should wish to get the kingdom for himself, and to effect this by what he does, I see that he will not succeed. 将欲取天下而为之，吾见其不得已。The kingdom is a spirit-like thing and cannot be got by active doing. 天下神器，不可为也，不可执也。He who would so win it destroys it. He who would hold it in his grasp loses it. 为者败之，执者失之。The course and nature of things is such that what was in front is now behind. What warmed anon we freezing find. Strength is of weakness oft the spoil. The store in ruins mocks our toil. 夫物或行或随，或虚或吹，或强或羸，或在或挥。Hence the sage puts away excessive effort, extravagance, and easy indulgence. 是以圣人去甚，去奢，去泰。Chapter 30. 第30章 He who would assist a lord of men in harmony with the Tao will not assert his mastery in the kingdom by force of arms. Such a course is sure to meet with its proper return. 以道佐人主者，不以兵强天下，其势好远。Wherever a host is stationed, briars and thorns spring up. In the sequence of great armies there are sure to be bad years. 师之所处，荆棘生焉，待君之后，必有凶年。 A skillful commander strikes a decisive blow and stops. He does not dare by continuing his operations to assert and complete his mastery. 善者国而已，不以取强. He will strike the blow but be on guard against being vain or boastful or arrogant in consequence of it. 国而勿矜，国而勿伐，国而勿骄. He strikes it as a matter of necessity. He strikes it, but not from a wish for mastery. 国而不得已，国而勿强. When things have attained their strong maturity, they become old. This may be said to be not in accordance with the Tao, and what is not in accordance with it soon comes to an end. 物壮则老，是谓不道，不道早已. Chapter 31. 第31章. Now arms, however beautiful, are instruments of evil omen, hateful, it may be said, to all creatures. Therefore, they who have Tao do not like to employ them. 夫兵者，不祥之器，物或恶之，故有道者不处. The superior man ordinarily considers the left hand the most honorable place, but in time of war, the right hand. 君子居则贵左，用兵则贵右. Those sharp weapons are instruments of evil omen, and not the instruments of the superior man. 兵者，不祥之器，非君子之器. He uses them only on the compulsion of necessity. Calm and repose are what he prizes. 不得已而用之，恬淡为上. Victory by force of arms is to him undesirable. To consider this desirable would be to delight in the slaughter of men. 胜而不美，而美之者，是了杀人. And he who delights in the slaughter of men cannot get his will in the kingdom. 富乐杀人者，则不可得志于天下矣. On occasions of festivity, to be on the left hand is the prized position. On occasions of mourning, the right hand. 其势上左，凶势上右. The second in command of the army has his place on the left. The general commanding-in-chief has his on the right. His place, that is assigned to him as in the rites of mourning. 偏将军居左，上将军居右，言以丧礼处之. He who has killed multitudes of men should weep for them with the bitterest grief, and the victor in battle has his place rightly according to those rites. 杀人之众，以悲哀弃之，战胜以丧礼处之. Chapter 32. 第32章. The Tao, considered as unchanging, has no name. Though in its primordial simplicity it may be small, the whole world dares not deal with one embodying it as a minister. 道常无名谱，虽小，天下莫能成也. If a feudal prince or the king could guard and hold it, all would spontaneously submit themselves to him. 侯王若能守之，万物将自宾. Heaven and earth under its guidance unite together and send down the sweet dew, which, without the directions of men, reaches equally everywhere as of its own accord. 天地相合，以降甘露，民莫之令而自君. As soon as it proceeds to action, it has a name. When it once has that name, men can know to rest in it. When they know to rest in it, they can be free from all risk of failure and error. 始至有名，名亦既有，夫亦将知止，知止可以不殆. The relation of the Tao to all the world is like that of the great rivers and seas to the streams from the valleys. 辟道之在天下，有川谷之于江海. Chapter 33. 第33章. He who knows other men is discerning. He who knows himself is intelligent. 知人者智，自知者明. He who overcomes others is strong. He who overcomes himself is mighty. 胜人者有力，自胜者强。He who is satisfied with his lot is rich. He who goes on acting with energy has a firm will. 知足者富，强行者有志。He who does not fail in the requirements of his position continues long. He who dies and yet does not perish has longevity. 不失其所者久，死而不亡者寿。Chapter 34. 第34章 All-pervading is the great Tao. It may be found on the left hand and on the right. 大道泛兮，其可左右。All things depend on it for their production, which it gives to them, not one refusing obedience to it. When its work is accomplished, it does not claim the name of having done it. 万物视之以生而不辞，功成而不有。It clothes all things as with a garment and makes no assumption of being their lord. It may be named in the smallest things. All things return to their root and disappear, and do not know that it is it which presides over their doing so. It may be named in the greatest of things. 一养万物而不为主，可名于小。万物归焉而不为主，可名为大。Hence the sage is able in the same way to accomplish his great achievements. It is through his not making himself great that he can accomplish them. 以其中不自为大，故能成其大。Chapter 35. 第35章 To him who holds in his hands the great image of the invisible Tao, the whole world repairs. Men resort to him and receive no hurt, but find rest, peace, and the feeling of ease. 执大象，天下往，往而不害，安平泰。Music and dainties will make the passing guest stop for a time. But though the Tao as it comes from the mouth seems insipid and has no flavor. 乐于耳，过客止，道之出口，但乎其无味。Though it seems not worth being looked at or listened to, the use of it is inexhaustible. 视之不足见，听之不足闻，用之不足记。Chapter 36. 第36章 When one is about to take an inspiration, he is sure to make a previous expiration. When he is going to weaken another, he will first strengthen him. 将欲息之，必固张之；将欲弱之，必固强之。When he is going to overthrow another, he will first have raised him up. When he is going to despoil another, he will first have made gifts to him. 将欲废之，必固兴之；将欲取之，必固与之。This is called hiding the light of his procedure. The soft overcomes the hard, and the weak the strong. 是谓威名，柔弱胜刚强。Fishes should not be taken from the deep. Instruments for the profit of a state should not be shown to the people. 鱼不可脱于渊，国之利器，不可以示人。Chapter 37. 第37章 The Tao in its regular course does nothing for the sake of doing it, and so there is nothing which it does not do. 道常无为而无不为。If princes and kings were able to maintain it, all things would of themselves be transformed by them. 侯王若能守之，万物将自化。If this transformation became to me an object of desire, I would express the desire by the nameless simplicity. Simplicity without a name is free from all external aim. 化而欲作，吾将振之以无名之朴。振之以无名之朴，夫将不欲。With no desire, at rest and still, all things go right as of their will. 不欲以静，天下将自正。Chapter 38. 第38章 Those who possessed in highest degree the attributes of the Tao did not seek to show them, and therefore they possessed them in fullest measure. Those who possessed in a lower degree those attributes sought how not to lose them, and therefore they did not possess them in fullest measure. 上德不德，是以有德；下德不失德，是以无德。 Those who possessed in the highest degree those attributes did nothing with a purpose and had no need to do anything. Those who possessed them in a lower degree were always doing and had need to be so doing. 上德无为而无以为，下德无为而有以为。 Those who possessed the highest benevolence were always seeking to carry it out and had no need to be doing so. Those who possessed the highest righteousness were always seeking to carry it out and had need to be so doing. 上人为之而无以为，上义为之而有以为。 Those who possessed the highest sense of propriety were always seeking to show it, and when men did not respond to it, they bared the arm and marched up to them. 上礼为之而莫之应，则让臂而扔之。 Thus it was that when the Tao was lost, its attributes appeared. When its attributes were lost, benevolence appeared. When benevolence was lost, righteousness appeared. And when righteousness was lost, the proprieties appeared. 故失道而后德，失德而后仁，失仁而后义，失义而后礼。 Now propriety is the attenuated form of leal-heartedness and good faith, and is also the commencement of disorder. 夫礼者，忠信之薄，而乱之首。 Swift apprehension is only a flower of the Tao, and is the beginning of stupidity. 前识者，道之华，而愚之始。 Thus it is that the great man abides by what is solid, and eschews what is flimsy. 是以大丈夫处其厚，不知其薄。 Dwells with the fruit and not with the flower. It is thus that he puts away the one and makes choice of the other. 处其实，不知其华，故去彼取此。 Chapter 39. 第39章。 The things which from of old have got the One, the Tao, are heaven by which it is bright and pure, earth rendered thereby firm and sure, spirits with powers by it supplied, valleys kept full throughout their void, all creatures which through it do live, princes and kings who from it get the model which to all they give. All these are results of the One, Tao. 悉之得一者，天得一以清，地得一以宁，神得一以灵，谷得一以盈，万物得一以生，侯王得一以为天下正。 If heaven were not thus pure, it soon would rend. If earth were not thus sure, 'twould break and bend. Without these powers the spirits soon would fail. If not so filled, the drought would parch each vale. Without that life, creatures would pass away. Princes and kings without that moral sway, however grand and high, would all decay. 其治之，为天无以清，将恐裂；地无以宁，将恐发；神无以灵，将恐歇；谷无以盈，将恐竭；万物无以生，将恐灭；侯王无以正，将恐绝。 Thus it is that dignity finds its firm root in its previous meanness, and what is lofty finds its stability in the lowness from which it rises. 故贵以贱为本，高以下为基。 Hence princes and kings call themselves orphans, men of small virtue, and as carriages without a nave. 是以侯王自称孤寡不古。 Is not this an acknowledgement that in their considering themselves mean they see the foundation of their dignity? 此非以贱为本邪，非乎? So it is that in the enumeration of the different parts of a carriage, we do not come upon what makes it answer the ends of a carriage. They do not wish to show themselves elegant-looking as jade, but prefer to be coarse-looking as an ordinary stone. 故知树欲无欲，不欲碌碌如玉，落落如石。Chapter 40. 第40章 The movement of the Tao by contraries proceeds, and weakness marks the course of Tao's mighty deeds. 凡者道之动，弱者道之用。All things under heaven sprang from it as existing and named. That existence sprang from it as non-existence and not named. 天下万物生于有，有生于无。